Why are there not more people talking about adolescent dating violence in Nepal? This is a question that needs urgent attention. The silence surrounding this issue is deafening, and it's time we start a conversation that can lead to meaningful change. Let's break the silence and shed light on this hidden crisis. Adolescent dating violence is a serious issue that affects the lives of many young people, yet it remains largely unspoken. By bringing this topic into the open, we can begin to address the root causes and find solutions. The recent tragedy in Kolkata has highlighted the pervasive issue of gender-based violence across the region. This incident has sparked outrage and brought attention to the urgent need for action. But while the focus is often on adult victims, we must not forget that these patterns of violence often begin much earlier. But did you know that in Nepal, similar horrors often start much earlier during adolescence? Young people, especially girls, are vulnerable to various forms of abuse in their dating relationships. This early exposure to violence can have long-lasting effects on their mental and physical health. A 2018 study revealed that nearly 39% of Nepali adolescents have experienced some form of dating violence. This statistic is alarming and highlights the urgent need for intervention. The study also found that many cases go unreported due to fear of stigma and lack of support. Emotional abuse tops the list, followed by physical and sexual violence. Emotional abuse can be just as damaging as physical violence, leaving deep psychological scars. Victims often suffer in silence, feeling isolated and helpless. For these young victims, the impact is devastating and long-lasting. The trauma can affect their academic performance, social relationships, and overall well-being. Many struggle with depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Intimate partner violence doesn't just stop at adolescence. The patterns of abuse established in teenage relationships often continue into adulthood, perpetuating a cycle of violence that can be difficult to break. According to the Nepal Demographic and Health Survey 2022, about 26% of women aged 15-49 have faced physical or sexual violence from a partner. This statistic underscores the need for early intervention and education to prevent violence before it starts. This tells us that what begins in teenage relationships often extends into adulthood. Without proper support and intervention, victims may continue to suffer, and perpetrators may continue their abusive behavior. Cultural barriers make things even tougher for girls. In many communities, traditional gender roles and expectations place additional pressure on young women to conform and stay silent about their experiences. Societal norms pressure them to stay silent, to protect their bodies at all costs. The fear of bringing shame to their families often prevents them from seeking help or speaking out about the abuse they face. Talking about consent becomes nearly impossible. In a culture where discussing sexual matters is taboo, young people are left without the knowledge and language to navigate their relationships safely and respectfully. And many girls end up blaming themselves for the violations they face. This self-blame can lead to a cycle of guilt and shame, making it even harder for them to seek help and support. The cycle of violence continues, leaving countless girls without the support they desperately need. Breaking this cycle requires a concerted effort from families, communities, and institutions to provide safe spaces and resources for victims. The solution? Comprehensive sexuality education. By educating young people about their rights, healthy relationships, and consent, we can empower them to make informed decisions and stand up against abuse. Teaching consent, communication, and mutual respect from an early age can pave the way for healthier relationships. These lessons can help young people recognize the signs of abuse and understand the importance of mutual respect and equality in their relationships. It's time to take action. We must work together to create a supportive environment where young people feel safe to speak out and seek help. This involves not only education, but also community engagement and policy changes. Let's give our adolescents the tools they need to break the cycle and build a safer future. Self-defense classes, workshops on healthy relationships, and peer support groups can all play a role in empowering young people. Together, we can create a world where every young person feels safe and respected. By fostering a culture of respect and equality, we can ensure that future generations grow up in a safer and more supportive environment. Let's make this change, one lesson at a time. Every step we take towards educating and empowering our youth brings us closer to a world free from violence and abuse. Together, we can make a difference.